Hobby Time Motorsports Safety Crew will take our 25 Victory Lane banner, put it back in its spot. Damon Clevenger gets his car fired back up, and we're just a couple of minutes away from the Bill Roberts Chevrolet Pace truck rolling out. Actually, we're ready for it right now. It heads out from turn number 2. Behind it, 24 late models in the house. We started with 43 after 4 heats, and 2 Bs whittled it down to the top 24. Ready to duel it out for 40 laps and a $7,000 paycheck. Let's look at tonight's starting grid. The 2 fast time qualifiers from both groups end up winning their heats, and they will start on the pole. Jonathan Davenport will start to the inside. Hudson O'Neill to the outside. Both just happen to be former Show Me 100 winners. Jonathan Davenport did it in 24. Hudson O'Neill in 21. Inside row number 2. He won the King of America in a modified a couple of weeks ago here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Cade Dillard starts in 3rd. Jeff Herzog out of Festus, Missouri on his outside. In row 3, it's a 3-time Dream winner, Brandon Overton from Evans, Georgia. And the 2018 World of Outlaws champion, Mike Marlar from Winfield, Tennessee, starting in 6th. Daniel Hilsebeck starts inside row number 4. And the Rolex, Carson Ferguson out of Lincoln, North Carolina to start in 8th. Back in row 5, primetime Tony Jackson Jr. and Mason Oberkramer, both Missouri natives, starting inside and outside 9th and 10th. Gordy Gundaker and Tyler Kuykendall starting at 11th and 12th. Urbana, Missouri's Dylan McCowan, former track champ and modified driver, to start in 13th with Justin Wells, who won 12 times here in a late model last year. He will start in 14th. His son Cole to start in 15th with Aaron Moran on his outside. That makes up row number 8. Alton, Missouri, Scott Krigler to start in 17th. Logan Martin to his right-hand side. And then out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, Mitch McGrath starting in 19th. John Kirby in 20th. Trevor Gundaker and Tyler Stevens back in 21st and 22nd. Then Billy Moyer and Cole Henson, they finished 4th in their respective B features, and that will round out the starting grid of 24 late models here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Again, the 12th annual Spring Nationals, presented by Iconic Apparel. A little bit of a different flavor for 2025 behind the Bill Roberts Chevrolet Pace truck. Used to be an MLRA sanctioned event. Now Lucas Oil Speedway simply hosting it, putting up a big paycheck tomorrow, $20,000, but night 1 will take home $7,000 to the winner. They get the 1 to go sign from Chris Loberg up on the Foley Equipment flag stand. No pomp and circumstance tonight. It's all business. As these late models see that green light or that yellow light turned off and the green flag in hand, they will get bunched up on the backstretch. All get nose to tail behind the 2 fast time qualifiers, Jonathan Davenport, Hudson O'Neill. Hud had the fastest out of all the qualifying, but Jonathan Davenport has owned Lucas Oil Speedway the last 2 years through the Lucas Oil start zone, and we get to do it all over again as Billy Moyer Sr. brings out the caution right after the green flag dropped. He got sideways on the initial start, so we get to do it all over again. We told you Jonathan Davenport has owned Lucas Oil Speedway 2 years ago. He won here 5 times. He won the Spring Nationals. He won the 2 preliminary nights of the Show Me 100. He won the Diamond Nationals, and he won the SRX race. Billy Moyer has won just about anywhere across the entire nation. And he will have to go to the tailback, or that's where he was to begin with, after a poor start to get things started. But Mr. Smooth out of Batesville, Arkansas, caboose on the field, green flag in hand. We get to do it all over again. with Jonathan Davenport and Hudson O'Neill side by side on the front row. Cade Dillard and Herzog back in row 2. Into the Lucas Oil start zone. Press down on the loud pedal, and we're underway at Lucas Oil Speedway. Davenport topside by a hair over Hud on lap 1, and Hudson O'Neill to the lead down the back chute. Again, this track tilled up during intermission. You can still see it's a little rough on the top side. That is going to come in over this 40-lap main event. You will see some comers and goers through the field as Hudson O'Neill chops off the nose of Jonathan Davenport. Davenport had a run coming off of 4. He's going to try it again in 1 and 2. Hudson's a little bit better in the middle of the track as Jonathan Davenport slides right underneath the rear deck of Hudson O'Neill. Gives up about 4 car lengths as it's a 2-car breakaway, leading Jeff Herzog by 1.7 seconds back in 3rd. Cade Dillard ahead of Brandon Overton. This is 4th, 5th, and 6th as Mike Marlar in the 157. He runs the high side around Overton. That'll take over the top 5 spot. Mike Marlar now in search of a Cade Dillard position, and he'll grab it. Marlar up to 4th. And Herzog in front of him, who's running in 3rd. That same line, Marlar's going to have to break formation. He had been top shelf last few laps to get around Overton and Dillard. Not able to make the move over Herzog through 3 and 4. And they're 3 wide through 1 and 2. Marlar, Overton in the middle, and Cade Dillard low side. Very interesting for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Hudson O'Neill over Jonathan Davenport by 1.4, and then it's another 3.5 back to this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Hudson O'Neill in lap traffic, and that's where those cars are going to be here in just a second. O'Neill and Davenport pretty much lined out. As to the inside goes Hudson O'Neill. Works inside John Kirby. And Jeff Herzog's fallen by the wayside. He was running 3rd. Now he's back in 6th. May lose another spot as Marlar, Overton, and Cade Dillard get strung out. See Cole Henson headed back to the pit area as Brandon Overton now to the inside of Marlar. Big sexy Brandon Overton, the 2015 World of Outlaw Rookie of the Year, now gaps himself from the former champ Mike Marlar. Marlar, a 3-time Knoxville National winner, a 2-time Hillbilly winner. Won the Wild West Shootout 3 times. And after getting through traffic, Hudson O'Neill has seen that lead shrink a little bit to Jonathan Davenport. At least they're both in the same screenshot now. After they got through that first wave of lap traffic, a little bit of clear daylight. Tyler Stevens will be the next one in the 2. He's running on the bottom side of the track, which is not where Hudson O'Neill has been running. 5th, 6th, and 7th. This is 6th and 7th now with Carson Ferguson and Cade Dillard. After Dillard was running in the top 5, he's lost a couple of spots now, back to 7th, and He's a little off the pace. Qualifying times were in the mid-15s. Right now, lap times are just barely around the 17-second mark. That's an O'Neill around Tyler Stevens. Now Jonathan Davenport will do the same, and that lead, again with lap traffic now starting to get smaller and smaller for Hudson O'Neill. Gets around Gundaker. Now to the inside of Aaron Morant will go Hudson O'Neill. And the lead for Hud over Jonathan Davenport, only about a second. You'll see cross flags in the air next time by, completing 20 of 40 laps. Daniel Hilsebeck trying to do what he can to catch up with Mike Marlar. This is for 4th and 5th. Hud likes having lapped cars between he and Jonathan Davenport. To the inside of Logan Martin. 3 lap cars now in between first and second. Marlar now running right in the middle of the track, starting to see now these drivers searching, trying to find any amount of grip they can. Where Hudson O'Neill was running top shelf most of the early portion of the race, now you see him go down to the bottom side. Brandon Overton running in third. Part of that Longhorn factory team. You see the Longhorn logo on the front. To the inside of Aaron Morant, he will go. 25 straight green flag laps make it 26. And Hudson O'Neill has stretched his lead out to 2.3 seconds over Jonathan Davenport. Look at how much this track is already starting to rubber up. And the Midwest Sheet Metal Caution. He'll have to get a push from the Hobby Time Motorsport safety crew. Early going, Hudson O'Neill and Jonathan Davenport had stayed within about a second of one another. Got into lap traffic. Davenport cut into that lead. But then Hudson O'Neill's car really starting to come alive. Even going through lap traffic, changing his line, going to the bottom side of the track, and really started to gap Superman after that out to about a 2.5 second lead, and it had stayed pretty consistent at that up until this caution came out on lap 28. They started 1-2, just flipped their running order with Hudson leading Jonathan Davenport. Brandon Overton's gone from 5th to 3rd. No real big mover in the race. Dylan McCowan up 5 spots. Mitch McGrath also up 5 spots. As you see Brandon Overton running in 3rd there. The best lap so far. All of these, again, in the very early going. Hudson O'Neill's ran the fastest lap so far at a 15.665, and that was on lap 2. And things have slowed down immensely since then. Everybody only in the 17-second range. Jonathan Davenport will go to the top side. He'll be on the outside line with Marlar and Dillard. To the inside, Overton, Hilsebeck, and Ferguson. Did the caution give Hudson O'Neill what he needed for the closing 12 laps? A chance to cool things down and get into open air. Nobody in front of him. Shouldn't have to deal with much lap traffic from here on out. Or was this what Jonathan Davenport and Brandon Overton needed? A second chance to get on the back bumper of HUD through the Lucas Oil start zone. Might have been what Brandon Overton needed, just at a shot at Jonathan Davenport. Overton pulling up alongside Jonathan Davenport. It has been all Hudson O'Neill. Jonathan Davenport led one lap. Hudson O'Neill so far has led the rest of them. Back to a 1.4 second lead. Hudson out of Martinsville, Indiana. With Overton and Mike Marlar side by side, third and fourth. And the lead for Hudson O'Neill now upwards of 2 seconds. With 3 laps to go, Hudson O'Neill, now with 2 laps to go, has sent a statement. Fast time qualifier, wins his heat, and has led all but 1 lap here at Lucas Oil Speedway. He'll see the white flag come out this time off of turn 4. Won't have any lap traffic to have to deal with. As Hudson O'Neill, now a 2-time winner at Lucas Oil Speedway, picking up his 2nd win of 2025, leading 39 of 40 laps and pocketing a cool $7,000 on night 1 of the Spring Nationals. Hudson O'Neill by 2 seconds over Jonathan Davenport. picking up a win on night one. And he made a statement, a 2-second statement over Jonathan Davenport, Brandon Overton, Mike Marlar, Mason Oberkramer. Your top 5, Daniel Hilsebeck, Carson Ferguson, Cade Dillard. They were running in the top 5 in the early portion. Dillard back to 8th. Justin Wells in 11th, only 12 cars on the lead lap. Jeff Herzog, who started in 4th, in 12th is where he finishes. 4 cars, 1 lap down. And then you saw a number of other cars drop off early, including Cole Wells, Tony Jackson Jr., and Cole Henson.